Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art. Actually, let me make sure that I am unmuted. Okay, yes, I am muted. Earlier, I was doing some footage about a day or two ago, and I unmuted my mic. So I just wanted to make sure that I was coming in nicely. Anyway, let me start over. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art. And in today's stream, I'm going to be working some more on my teaser trailer. I am almost done. There's just a little bit more for me to animate. And then I just need to go over the color, work on my backgrounds, and then I'll be done. Everything will just need to be composited, sound added, and then I can upload the final product. So for a project that I am doing completely by myself, I can respectfully say that things are coming along smoothly, nicely. I do, in fact, go to work at around 1 o'clock, 1:30. Well, no, I clock in at 2 o'clock, but the bus comes at 1. So I am going to have to end the stream in about an hour, maybe an hour, 20 minutes. So, on some lighter and more, I guess, positive news, I have been applying to other jobs. There have been video editor positions, technical artist positions, and I've gotten emails back from like two or three, and I am excited for those. I am gonna be more on the lookout, more careful because like there in fact have been scams. Like that's the wild thing to me. Is how are you gonna scam someone looking for a job? Like they'll say pretty much watch out for any job that gives you a check and tells you to buy your own equipment Because, like, a company will never do that. Usually they have the equipment in stock and, like, they have that equipment on reserve, so they'll never, ever, ever ask you to buy the equipment yourself. Unless it's like, now, I will, what's it called? I will be devil's advocate sometimes. Rare instances, there will be startup companies that are just beginning. And so, because they have no structure and have no cohesion or organization, what they might do is they might expect you to already have the software on your computer or your device, what have you. But even then, there are like time trackers and different things like that. So more than likely they'll never give you a check either. I just wanted to play devil's advocate for a second. So right now what I'm doing is actually animating the round table. Essentially what's gonna happen is, okay, in the previous frame, the table gets built and then the chairs manifest. Then after that, it's supposed to the chairs are supposed to rotate and you're supposed to see a few chairs. And I actually plan, that's one of the sort of, trying to find the proper word for it. That's one of the hacks to animation is sometimes you can just repaste and repeat certain frames. That's how they make walk cycles or run cycles. One second. My mom is calling me. Hello, I am back. Yes, my mom just called. She asked if I was streaming. And then she also wanted to know if she also wanted to tell me that it's like very cold outside. So to just be aware of that. She's sweet. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yes. So, loops, that's the word I was looking for. In animation, sometimes animators will loop certain segments of animation so that they can have it play back, and then they don't have to really. Oh, excuse me. They have loops, so then they can sort of replay certain segments of animation. That's how walk cycles and certain action cycles get done, at least for like the backgrounds of them, so that animators don't have to spend too much time redoing the same scene over and over again or have to come up with new ideas for that scene. So that's usually why animators loop certain segments. So this is gonna go into a loop of multiple chairs taking center stage, and then later I plan on animating this zoomed out segment where the chairs zoom out. You see all 13 chairs, and then it's going to zoom back in. There's going to be some magic. You see as this energy sort of wells around the table, and then the number 13, if you actually pay attention, close attention, you see that as this energy sort of wells over, the 13 manifests. Then there's going to be a shimmer around the 13. The number 13 is going to take up the whole screen. And then after a few seconds, I plan on it fading to black. And that's pretty much how the teaser trailer is going to end. And I have gotten into the habit of animating on and off stream. I mean, I always have, but it's more so like I've started really dedicating my time to animating off stream. Like, what I'll do is usually maybe like 1 or 2 hours before I go to work, I'll animate. And then when I get home, even though it's like 11 o'clock, 11:15 by the time I get home, pretty late, I still do try to get at least a couple minutes of animating in before I crash. One of the other issues I've had, got a sip of coffee. One of the issues I'm having though is that it is somewhat difficult for me now to edit my videos because one of the videos I'm currently working on, my video on graphic design, a little guide and explanation on graphic design, or not graphic design, character design, I mean, is that I am trying to ramp up my editing abilities. So I have decided to incorporate more B-roll into the videos I make now. Just the issue I'm having is sort of finding time to download those clips. I mean, if I get lucky, one day I'm just gonna have like a big reserve of like stock clips from like anime TV shows that I can just readily call upon. I'm just not here yet, so I'm pretty much just gathering whatever I can gather at the moment. Oh yes, I also got into the habit of actually sketching while I'm at work. Like I'll like whenever I'm on like my 15-minute break or my lunch, I'll pull out my sketchbook and like I'll draw. Sometimes I'll draw people, other times I'll draw like certain characters that pop up in my mind. And like my coworkers, I actually see my sketchbook and they're like, "Wow, that's really good. You're really good at drawing." Like, I better be good at drawing. I spent so much time in college drawing. Like, I've done figure drawing, character design in college. Like, I've done a lot of stuff. So I hope that my skills have improved at least somewhat. And because I've been animating on and because I've been so focused on animating and like digital art through Photoshop, I've this is gonna sound wild, but it's like I've almost forgotten how good I am at my sketchbook. If that makes sense, because like I'm so used to how do I put it? For certain artists, it is hard to remain consistent throughout your mediums. Charcoal is different from acrylic paint. Physical media is different from digital media. How you draw, how you animate a character is going to be different from how you draw promotional art of them. Like the like a perfect example is actually League of Legends. In League of Legends, you have the CG art, the what's it called? The watercolor character stills that League of Legends and their digital painters do. And those are like composition painters. They work with physical media, they do mixed media. They're really good at their job. But then when you have the animators and modelers, the actual models for League of Legends, their game, it's and this is no insult to them, but fairly cartoony. Like it's you would need to have production based you would need to have a production based budget to have the character models look anything like fully fully drawn, fully painted stills that are in their promotional art and character art and bios. It's just a different way of animating. And it's not inherently wrong or bad. Like, because that's what I think happens at times in the art community in general is animators will look at digital artists will look at like real life painters and they'll say, man, like why doesn't my stuff look like that, or why can't I draw that good? When in actuality, it's just that's just how the medium works. That's just how it looks. And when it comes to employment, there are animators that say, man, I have to be as good as a lifelike painter. Man, I have to do this, animate this type of way. When in actuality, you shouldn't be looking to animate like a painter paints. You should just try your best and sort of almost have your own spin on it. And sadly, at the same time, in the same vein, when I say that, there is sort of this stigma of, oh, that's just my art style. Oh, I just draw hands like that. When you sort of shouldn't explain away your bad art or your bad design. You do want to actually grow and try to develop. It's just, it's somewhat difficult. There is no straight or right answer for this. You really just have to build up satisfaction with yourself and your work. That's really all this takes is one day, at the end of the day, you should be able to rest your head and say, you know what? I'm glad I did that animation, or I'm glad I'm getting better, what have you. So, when I was actually roughing this out, I chose the spiky design of the chairs because I sort of wanted to add some edge or like seriousness to the organization. But at the same time, their seats are cushioned. So it's more so like these are hardened, traumatized people. But on the inside, and when you really think about them, they are just people who are hurting. And so at the end of the day, this show isn't to excuse revenge seekers or try to say it's okay to take revenge on people or to actually commit acts of violence on others. It's more so to, well, first of all, the main purpose of the show is to just be entertaining because, like, it's a show about magic and a world where everyone can use magic. So I do think that that would be quite entertaining. But I guess the specific story, which is the story of these 13 witches, these 13 people, is that people affect each other and people hurt each other whether they are aware of it or not. And so the moral of the story isn't to say, hey, you need to be conscious of everyone's feelings, just you should be mindful to treat others well or decently because you don't know what can happen or what the consequences of your actions may entail. Like, there's no such thing as a 100% victim. Like, there are in fact instances where random people get like attacked, but to an extent, I will say that there is a pattern and a trail of events that lead a person to certain results. That's just cause and effect. That's just like a rule of the world. There does, in fact, exist a cause and effect of how your actions and choices led you to what you have and what you're experiencing today. I guess while I'm waiting, I can tell a few, I don't know, like work stories of like crazy stuff that's happened while I'm at work. So essentially, yesterday, this elderly man came in, and he was trying to get his phone fixed or whatever or replaced. He said that he wanted to return the phone. And I said, I'm sorry, sir. Like, we don't handle returns back here. You have to go to customer services. But then hmm, one of the phone associates, okay, so there's like this other company in partnership with the retail outlet where I work, where their associates come in and they sell phones and phone accessories. So she's an expert on phones, and like she said, "No, sir, you don't have to do that. Like, I'll fix up the phone for you." So like she takes the guy off to the side. Next thing I know, I hear cursing like from the old man, and it's like a 98-year-old man. He's like, I'm gonna have a heart attack. He ain't helped me. That B word didn't help me. And like he's just cussing up a storm. Like he's freaking out because he locked himself out the phone. He doesn't remember his codes, his passwords. He can't set up an Apple account. He doesn't know his phone number. And like the phone associate, like bless her soul, because she was trying so hard, and like I was ringing up other customers, and like I'm just putting on a smile, like even though I had a face mask on, I'm just putting on a smile, like I apologize, like I'll ring you up, let me get that for you, and like I was just trying to get people moving. And then the phone associate, she comes to me and she's like, Amobi. Like this is a 98-year-old man and he doesn't know anything. And he wants a refund. And then I told her, I said, tell him we don't handle refunds back here. Tell him he needs to go to customer services. Because by technicality, that is the store policy. Like we can't do refunds. Refunds is specifically a customer services thing that you have to go to do. So like she wrapped that phone up, put it back in the box, gave it to the man, and he's like, "I'm sorry, sir. You have to go to customer services. I've done all I can. I've done all I can." Like they couldn't even restore it to factory settings because it was locked out, and the man didn't know his password or didn't have an Apple account for it. So like about an hour or two later, I get a cart full of electronic stuff. Like they usually send carts to us that's full of our department stuff, and we have to reshelf or to lock it back up. And I see a phone with a yellow sticky note on it, and I'm like, "Phone associate, here's the phone." And then she's like, that's the phone. That's the phone that man wanted me to work on. Like, we can't resell it. We can't do anything with it. It's gonna have to go back to manufacturer. It's gonna have to go to returns. And so we took it back to returns. But like, man, you see, working in retail, sometimes it can be a gift. Like, I'll be sketching my coworkers, or like certain situations does help me think about, like, sometimes like I just be wanting to. Well, I'll put it this way: sometimes work makes me think about other things. So working in retail has helped me, But at the same time, like, I can't work in retail forever. I can't be dealing with people, especially people like that, forever. Like, elderly folks that yell at you. Like, and I'll get some sweet customers. I'll get some sweet, amazing customers, some couples, other folks that are just on their own. Like even like some teenagers or like some kids come in saying that they want XYZ, and like I'll get it for them, and like that's nice. That's cute. That's sweet. But like it's when I get the snappy folks that want things their way, that's when it sort of gets to me. But I do think that some of the managers, they need to, I don't know, change or like be re-educated is a strong word. But like there are some of the managers that are very, they don't really care about their job. Well, I mean, like it's retail, nobody really cares about their job, but like the managers I've had, like they have threatened me. Like I was getting something for a customer and I said, okay, so I'll ring you up. Next thing I know, one of the managers comes in and she has like a 3 pack of donuts. And she's like, oh yeah, ring me up. Like I was here first. And I'm like, but I have this customer. I just left to get him his charger. He's like, oh, that doesn't matter. I'm still a customer. And like, I apologized. I said, I'm sorry, sir. Let me ring her up real quick. Then I'll get you. And like, she's like, oh yeah, that's right. And then under her breath, like I'll never forget what she said. Like under her breath, she's like, "If you don't listen to me next time, I'm gonna put you on the front end." Like she legit threatened. She threatened me. Like for real. I'm not even lying about that. I swear, she threatened to put me in a different position, a position that is known to be hectic and chaotic and like very bad, all because I didn't ring her up when she wanted me to ring her up, even though I had a customer before her. Like, folks are for real wild in Walmart. I swear. Folks are for real wild in retail. I swear. And then there was this like other time, like I had this customer. She was like this. She looked like a very preppy woman. Like she was wearing like a black pantsuit and like she had on high heels and she had a long Karen haircut. And like she was on the phone like, oh, that's how black people act, and oh, he thought I was stealing the phone or whatever. And then like I'm staring at her, I'm looking dead at her while she's talking about me. And then one of the managers had the nerve to like over my shoulder talk to another associate and be like, oh, is he doing anything? Like, what's he doing? Is he just standing there? And like I had half the mind to turn to her and say, "No, I'm not just standing here. I'm looking at that woman, this racist white lady, talking about me. Are you gonna do anything?" But then I would have been the bad guy if I said that. I'm just glad that I'm just glad that I have my degree and I'm not gonna be there forever. That's why I've been applying to jobs and like doing a bunch of other stuff because some of those managers, mm, I can't say what I can't say what I want to say, but I will say that ooh, string them up on site. I want to some of them I want to string them up, string them up and just shake them real bad. I swear, because they are pieces of work. That's all I can say. That's the best thing I can say without cursing on YouTube and getting this stream strike down or what have you is I just want to shake them real good. And that's all I'm going to say. And that's all you're going to get out of me is I just want to give them a real good shaking. Like malpractice is in that entire store. There is no order, there is no care for employees. Because one of the things I learned, okay, so to, to explain to explain how I feel about this, I have to go over my college education. Is for my major, which is artistic media and administrative services. Not only did I take courses in art and how to do different things in the media field, I also learned things on the business aspect as well. So, leadership, entrepreneurship, marketing, management, different things like that. And one of the big things that I learned is dealing with and helping your stakeholders. So, in a business, you have stakeholders, people who hold stake or depend on your company. Of those stakeholders, there are roughly four facets of that. You have the consumers, those who actually use the products. You have customers, those who buy the products. Employees, those who work for your company. And then you have supporters slash what are they called? Supporters slash backers. Those who give financial incentive or financial support to your company or business. Where I work, they are very customer friendly, but they do not pay attention to consumers and they do not care for employees. Where I work, the lower associates, they are burnt out. They work long hours. They don't get their breaks. Sometimes they don't even get their lunches. Like, it is malpractice and just all around bad. And the store where I'm working at, the business is crumbling. I swear to you, the business is crumbling. You have managers that don't want to do their jobs. They like to pull and pick people away from their positions and their roles to do other work that they're not supposed to be doing just because that manager doesn't want to do it. And then I get met with, oh, that's just how we operate. That's just how we do things here. Like, items get stolen literally because an associate is being drawn away from their position. Like, devices get stolen, toys get stolen, many things, anything and everything gets stolen because there's nobody there to watch over it. And then security, there's just like one security officer and he's in the camera room and you have to page him and call him. Like there's no security team, it's just one security guard. So then it falls to the associates, the employees, to act as mini security. But at the same time, all we can say is, no, don't do that, sir. Don't do that, ma'am. You can't do that. And like that's pretty much it. Like a device got stolen from me. Like the guy just took it out of my hand and he walked off. And like I'm calling management, I'm paging everybody. I'm saying a device has been stolen and like I don't know how to act, I don't know how to respond. But then like a few and then like an hour or two later, the security guard's coming to me and he's like, "You shouldn't have let him walk off. You shouldn't let him do this. Like you should have taken it back from them." I'm like, I only get paid $12 an hour. What do you expect me to do? Like I'm not gonna risk my life. Like the dude had tattoos all over his face. He looked very dangerous. Pardon my language, but he looked like he was in prison. And like just it's bad. It's very bad. Like and then anything and everything they do, it's just patchwork. It's just a band-aid. None of the managers, none of the coaches, none of the supervisors have any long-term plans in place. They just say, "Oh, this person will do this today. That person will do that today." Like you're just gonna stay over here for a few minutes. They have no plans. They have no organization. They have nothing long term, and everyone is acting out of habit or out of what's it called? Everyone is acting out of habit or instinct, and there is very little policy being followed. But then when corporate shows up, then they want to put on their smiles and they want to be the Wizard of Oz and say, don't pay attention to the man behind the screen. And they want to act like everything is fine and perfect and hunky dory. When in actuality, it's not. People are burnt out. People are stressed. People are, dare I say it, some people are even malnourished or like freaking husks of themselves. And it's horrible because if I wanted to, I could take over that whole store. I'm not even kidding. Like I have the education, I have the knowledge, I have the know-how, I have the people skills. I'm probably one of the most empathetic and kind people that works there cuz like I say hi, how you doing? Are you okay? Like I ask people I have general conversations with people. A lot of the managers, they just talk down to people. They don't know how to have people skills, which is wild to me. A lot of the managers there don't have people skills and don't know how to conduct themselves with grace or mercy or empathy. Like, a lot of the people there are just horrible. And if I'm being completely honest, I avoid them. Like, for real, I try my best to avoid those people. I do not like them. And what's wild to me is retail is so horrible, but it doesn't need to be. Like, that's the thing. Retail is horrible, but at the same time, it has potential. And that's the wild thing is retail does have potential to be a good place and to be something that people actually like to, well, I wouldn't say like because nobody wants to go in retail long term. But like retail by and large can be better than how it actually is and how it's actually being operated. It's just certain actors and certain people are out for themselves. So at the same time, you kind of have to be out for yourself too. Like you can act with empathy, you can act with grace, and you can be a kind person. Just pay attention to who's who. Like, I'm not gonna lie, some of the managers like I hide from them, or if I see them, I turn the other way, or like I pretend to be like going to the bathroom or something, which sounds horrible, but at the same time, you kind of have to do it because if you don't, then their laziness is going to affect you. And like they expect you to bend over backwards when they're not even willing to bend over backwards. Like company policy is that if it's a heavy object or if it's something really difficult to lift, we have like a entire policy and sort of team that is meant to lift and transport things for customers. Or like you're supposed to grab another associate and help them. And so like a woman was asking for a Christmas tree one time. And so I turned the corner and like I was towards the front of the store, so I was close to customer services. And so I turned the corner. I see like four or five managers just standing there talking, not doing anything. And then I said, "Excuse me, a woman would like a Christmas tree." And like I thought that they were just going to say, "You know what? I'll help you if it's a heavy tree," or "Okay, we'll contact Team Lift." No, one of the manager she yells to me, "Well, you're a boy, aren't you?" And then like if I didn't have class, I would have ran over there and snatched her up. Like I am my mom's son. Like I'm not gonna lie, cause hmm, there's just certain things you don't say to people, and there's just certain there's a way to conduct yourself to help the situation, and it's actors like that, people like that that really give customer service and retail a bad name. Like there are policies that you are willingly ignoring. And honestly, I probably should have reported her for sexism. I'm not gonna lie. If I was petty enough, I would have reported her for sexism, and that would have been it. But no, clenched my teeth. The supervisor came over and he got the tree for the customer, and I just went back to work. And I'm sure those two had a conversation with each other. And then, like a few days ago, that same manager, like, I got a lot of issues with that one manager. I'm not gonna lie. But like I was in my department, like doing some work. There was like a bunch of stock, different devices and accessories that needed to be put away. And like I'm trying to put it away. And I had another person in my department, my partner who was helping me. And so he comes over with a cart and he's like, "Oh yeah, this is a reshop cart. This needs to be you need to walk around the entire store and put this stuff away." And I'm like, "But don't the managers know that the electronics department has a bunch of stuff to put away and we have to do XYZ, and this is a very precarious time because it is the holiday season." And then he's like, "It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You just have to put this away." Keep in mind that we usually have a system in place where items are sorted and organized before we have different associates run returns. And that cart wasn't even sorted. There was stuff in toys, there was other Bath and Body Works stuff that needed to be put away, like on the other side of the store. Everything was everywhere. And like essentially that manager wanted me to walk around the entire store to put stuff away. So then I just grit my teeth and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna put this away and then I'll take care of that cart. Come to find out a few minutes later, that same manager, the one that, insulted me earlier, she's like, "Oh, Moby, you didn't put that cart away." And then I said, "Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff for electronics people to do. And since I'll call him Ben, and since I have Ben over here with me, it would run faster if we had two people." And she's like, "Oh, yeah, I know. But when I ask you to do something, you need to do it. And also, I don't want to put this stuff away." Mm. Retail is horrible. And she's like, "Oh, if this doesn't get shopped, if this doesn't get worked, then they're going to give me a hard time." And I'm like, I'm just like, okay. So I finish stocking the stuff for my department. I take the cart, and I'm gonna be honest with you here right now because y'all are on my stream, and I bet none of my higher, none of my upper coworkers, like none of the managers watch my streams. I already know I'm safe, but like I just put those items where I felt they would go, or the best location that they'd be at, and then I went back to electronics. Like I'm not gonna say I just threw everything on one shelf, but I did walk around the store and I said, "This looks like this goes here. Let me put it here." Like I was not interested at all because I know how these folks operate, and I know that they are all. I'm not gonna say they're all horrible people, but many of them are horrible people that are only out for themselves and out for making their lives and their work easier. They don't care about the people. So shit, so when it comes to at least the managers, I'm gonna act I'm gonna act in my own best interest for myself. An employee, of course, I'm gonna help them. I'm going to a lower associate like me. I'm gonna smile. I'm gonna help them. Anything they need, I'll help them with. But like, if you a manager, like, I'm sorry, it's a doggy dog world. That's just how it operates. I'm still getting paid. I'm still getting a check. They haven't dipped into my money yet. So hey, we all out for. If you want to be out for yourself, okay, I'm gonna be out for myself. That's just that's life. I don't know what to tell y'all. That's life. I had to be out for myself in college. I had to take care of myself in college. Like just because I'm working in retail doesn't mean that ain't changed. Each chance I get, I say, "Oh, I'm an animator. I do XYZ. I do graphic design." Like that ain't changed. Like I'm still trying to network even when I'm working with customers. Like I'll just bring it up in passive conversation. Like, "Oh, I animate. I do this and that." Cuz shoot, if I don't do it, who will? If I don't do it, who will? If I'm not trying to get my foot out the door, who will? So like that's just how it is. But I think one of the wild and most crazy things is they think I'm dependent or that they think they can just threaten me with consequences. Because, like, the first couple of days I was there, it certainly felt like they were testing the waters with that. Like, oh, I'll put you in this position or oh, I'll have you do this. But, like, I just straight up told them, like, this is just an in between. Like, I have my degree, I've been to college. I know XYZ. And like I'll even bring up like things I've learned and sort of like, I don't know, and I'll just like bring up things I've learned and policies I've learned and different practices like that. And like they're taken aghast by my knowledge and what I say. So like I try to carry myself in a way that lets them know I don't need you guys. Like I don't need validation or anything like that. Like I know what I'm talking about. I carry myself like a college student, like I'm informed. So then they can't weaponize me being young or me what have you. They just can't hurt me in that way cuz those people will hurt you in an instant. I'm not even going to lie. I'm not going to try and sugarcoat it. Those people will try to hurt you or control you in an instant. Anybody in retail will try to shame you, hurt you, control you, make you feel some type of way to try and ink out more work from you. That's just how they operate. That's just how they practice. And I'm not here for it. So every chance I get, I let my college years trickle out. I say, is this how you want to treat a stakeholder or is that company policy? Like, I'm pretty sure we're not supposed to be doing that. Like, different words and different phrases like that. Because if I didn't, If I didn't, I don't know what would happen if I didn't do that. If I didn't operate like that. On a lesser note, now that I've pretty much gone over how much I hate my job, this animation is coming along smoothly. Coming along smoothly? Going along smoothly. It's definitely looking good. And I do like the progress that I've made on it. I really just need to finish this loop segment. Then I can just have this repeat. I'll color this, have it repeat for, I want to say, I think it was 3 seconds. Then I'll do the zoom out and zoom back in. But yeah, this chapter is coming to a close. My teaser trailer is almost done. Well, the animation at least. I still need to I need to source some music, work on some sound effects, composite in After Effects, and then I'll be done. An ad just popped up on my phone. I apologize for that. You know, what I love about this project is really just how much it has helped me grow and how much I've learned to think deeper on the characters I create, what I animate, and the overall composition of my work. Like, one of the things that I'm the most proud of would have to be the character design that went into Ayo, as well as the design that went into the world. Because we get a lot of sci fi and we get a lot of fantasy, but when do those two blend? When do we get advanced science laced with magic? We really only see it in steampunk and steampunk adjacent, but that is less magic and more mechanized or fantasized technology rather than an overt split. In this world, in this world, magic fuels science and science justifies or explains magic. So there will always be a sort of duality in this world, not a clashing, but a mending and cleaving of the two aspects and facets. When it comes to the fashion and how people dress, I wanted to blend cyberpunk tech wear with the flowing the flowing and fluidity that is fantasy clothing. One of two of the things that not two of the things, but like one of the things that you see blended in fantasy clothing and tech wear is this view on leather. So for this world and the general aesthetic of this world is leather and leather adjacent materials are going to be appearing in this show. Though at the same time, there is going to be a a blend of a tightness or a revealingness of clothing with also aspects that are free flowing. So like you're gonna see a lot of cargo pants, jogger pants, baggy clothing, but then there's going to be an area or something that is tight or form fitting on a character, making a unique aesthetic about the world. And no, I'm not a fashion or design major. I do think that I may have to contact one when I get to making more characters and designing more characters. But for now, I do feel as though I have a good enough grasp on the world and what I want it to look like. But all in all, I can say that I don't regret working on this project. I don't regret doing this. This has been such a wonderful and nice experience. And honestly, streaming my process and having it for everyone to see has helped me grow and develop in ways that honestly might have taken forever if I didn't. So I do want to spend the time to say thank you. Thank you, everyone who stops by, everyone who tunes into my videos or streams after I hit end. Thank you for leaving the comments, the likes, for sharing, word of mouth, anything and everything that you guys have been doing that I may not even know about or be privy to. I'm thankful for. And I am happy to see where this goes and how I evolve and develop, hone my craft, work on future projects, my own or even others. But I do have to call it the end for this stream. I shouldn't I shouldn't go over too much, but thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for subscribing, for liking, for sharing. Anyway, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share even. If you'd like to support me, I have a Patreon and a Buy Me a Coffee down in the description box below. Anyway, I gotta go to work. I gotta get ready still. And this has been Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art. I'll see you corner creeps later. Bye.